So Venezuelan president, right, and I say it in quotes because many there believe he's not legitimate, Nicolás Maduro and his wife, Cilia Flores, are currently being held behind bars in the infamous Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, which also has Sean Diddy Combs was there, Ghislaine Maxwell, Luigi Mangione. Now, Maduro and his wife pleaded not guilty in a Manhattan federal court. The charges are narco-terrorism, cocaine importation, weapons charges. His wife is being tried as a co-conspirator. Remember, she was attorney general when he was there and before he was there in power. So is there a case, and does the defense get a pass because of him being a prisoner of war? Let's do the prosecution first. Joining me now is a former federal prosecutor for the Southern District of New York, Mimi Rocah. Mimi, thank you very much for taking the opportunity. Give me a quick take on what you think the prosecution has to lean on here.
Well, I mean, this is a case that's been in the making for a long time. So that's, I think, one important thing to point out. This isn't something that just was conjured up, in the past few months, even just in this administration. I mean, the original indictment out of the Southern District of New York that was unsealed was in 2020, which means the investigation had been going on before that. Now, the charges are slightly different here, but they, build on that. They are essential of the same nature and seem to be based on the same conduct and probably some of the same evidence. One important thing, though, from a prosecution point of view, is there are two defendants who were named in the original 2020 indictment who were arrested and charged, and I believe both of them have pled guilty. One of them just recently in June of 2025. What that tells me, and he has not yet been sentenced. So that certainly raises at least the distinct possibility of him being a cooperator, maybe others as well. And, this is a case where the allegations are incredibly serious, as you've laid out, but they're going to need to put some meat on the bones. I think the Southern District of New York, at least the office I know, wouldn't bring this indictment if they didn't think they could prove it in court. I've been a skeptic of this Department of Justice leadership, but I still believe that the attorneys that have to walk into court and face a judge are not going to do that if they don't think they have the evidence. It doesn't mean they'll win, but it means that they believe in their case.
Mimi Rocah, I appreciate it. Let's see how it unfolds, and we'll talk about it again. Thank you very much. Appreciate you, and have a happy New Year.
Thank you. You too.
All right, let's take a quick break, 4 minutes, 15 seconds. Come back and see what the defense can do with this case. Next. So the case against Maduro, you just heard a former federal prosecutor say she knows the office, she knows they've been working this a long time, and she knows that they have someone who may be ready to cooperate, who pleaded guilty to the same list of charges, but hasn't been sentenced. So let's flip it to the defense side. Criminal defense attorney David Oscar Markus has handled several high-profile criminal cases involving Venezuela. It's good to have you, counsel. Is this the simple pushback of forget about the merits? You can't just pluck a guy out of another country and bring him here. He's a prisoner of war. There's no jurisdiction. We got to go.
Hey, Chris, thanks for having me. I had to laugh when Mimi said that the line prosecutors believe in their case. They always believe in their case, of course, but that doesn't mean it's a strong case, a case they're going to win, a case where they have the goods. There are a number of legal and factual defenses here. The legal defense, of course, is the one you just touched on, sovereign immunity, one that Trump himself argued for himself and got it in the Supreme Court. So that's a live issue for heads of state in other countries. Then, of course, we have the factual defenses, and you heard Mimi talk about cooperators, what we on the defense side call snitches. And that's what all these drug cases are made up on, and that's why the government frequently loses drug cases, because they have to rely on folks with criminal records who don't tell the truth, who lie all the time, who defense lawyers like Maduro's lawyer, Barry Pollock, who is an excellent, excellent lawyer. I've worked with him before. He's going to have a field day with this case. So there are a lot of defenses here. I will note, I think they made a huge mistake bringing the case in New York instead of Miami. They had venue down here in Miami, where I'm from as well, where the community is much more anti-Maduro and pro-Trump than in New York. I mean, if I had taken this case, my secretary would have left me after 20 years. So that's the kind of jury pool you would have had in Miami. So I think they made a tactical mistake by bringing the case in New York to start out with instead of Miami. And so that's where we're beginning.
I appreciate it. Thank you for that appetizer. We'll see how they set out the case. You'll come back and we'll go through it. David Oscar Markus, appreciate you. Best for the new year.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks, buddy.
All right. Be well. Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.